I got out of the army. Life had like just crashed. Just think about it. Like I owned a home. I had all this other stuff, and I no longer had a home, no car, no none of that. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I was no longer in the army. I had no idea. Being in the infantry, there's not really a lot of jobs in the world for me. And so I went back to school and I started studying public speaking because I was like, all right, I can talk. Let me figure out how to talk to a lot of people and see how I can make this into a living. So I went back to school to figure out what I was going to do. They have their issues in can't even think. They have issues all over the place, like with signing up for the school, with administration. There we go. That's the word I was trying to think of. Administration. They have issues with their administration. My mom the next week comes to me and goes, "Honey, I got you a gift." I'm like, "Oh, thank you, Mom. That's so sweet. Gifts? This is cool." She pulls out a pewter necklace with a freaking bear on it. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't need this in my life. Please. She still has this damn bear, by the way. And she still has it in her jewelry closet to this day. I know that I'm going to get it back one of these days. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because my mom got it for me. However, the trash is like 10 feet away. You know what I mean? Like, me and bears, we got an understanding. They're there. I'm here. We cool. Camping me is not the greatest thing ever. I mean, yeah. So people tell me I need to write stories about my life. That's the bear story, and I wasn't even a teenager at that point in time. Fast forward a little bit, I didn't want to go be homeless again, and things were still being a problem. So I started running drugs. So if you know, looking at all the Italian mobsters, I put the hair straight back. It gets more villainous. If I have the hair forward, I could be more silly, right? But because I have, you know, this specific look and this, my voice is deeper and at this, I don't have that specific pretty boy look. So I get casted as the villain a lot, which I don't mind it. I love playing the villains. They're usually the most interesting character. Some people will say like digging into the character can actually make you feel more like the character. Um, that comes from like a work that you have to do to not do that. And there's techniques out there that are for specifically teaching you to live the character's life, which I think is absolutely crazy because you got to be you and separate yourself from the world that you work in while still delivering really good work. Yeah. But I know that networking is extremely important because whoever you meet here, you don't know what they're going to do. They could probably do great things in the future. And then because you met them here and they've watched you do things, they go, "Hey, I'm going to bring you over here to this." Right. And that can just boost your career up. So meeting these people, getting to know these people, being friendly to these people, being kind, right? You don't have to be best friends, but maybe you are, you know, just don't be a jerk. But yeah, so it is kind of who you know, raising money, getting benefactors, getting donations, getting investors. It's a whole other ball game. And it's like I'm right back into school, but I'm learning all kinds of other new things for it. So it's another step. And I recommend taking some type of financial courses if you have a chance to figure out this stuff a lot easier. I didn't do that. So I have no idea. Okay. I would say choose your heart. Um, the reason why is giving up on something that is a dream that you love, that you have passion for, that's like what brings you hope, happiness, and like life. That is hard. Then looking back and going, what if I would have been that, is also hard. So don't give up. Keep going through it. Yes, it's difficult, but don't give up. If you find yourself stagnant, make something, create something. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It doesn't have to be beautiful. You just made it. You make it. Don't try to get 25 of your friends to come together and put together this thing that you didn't take time to put together. You make it. Keep your creativity juices going, and then talk to people.
Hey everyone, this is Abhi from No-Budget Filmmaking podcast, and here with me is my wonderful friend and ex-roommate, Nestor. Hi, Nestor.
What's good, Abby? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. So, for our audience, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Nestor Vinelli. I'm an 11-year Army veteran. I served in the infantry, so got a lot of combat training during that time frame. Um, I am currently an actor, director, stunt coordinator in that order. So sometimes people know me as Nestor the stunt coordinator, Nestor the director, or Nestor the actor, and I'm trying to get them all to get it all together to let them know who I am. Um, CSUN graduate. That's where I'm at. I'll be here and roomed with him, finishing up my degree and all that good nonsense. And yeah, so that's what I do. That's me.
So, apart from the army thing, we will talk about it later, but how did you get into this field? What enticed you to be in the film industry, TV industry?
Oh man, it's actually one of my favorite stories. So I got out of the army. Life had like just crashed. Just think about it. Like I owned a home. I had all this other stuff, and I no longer had a home, no car, no none of that. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I was no longer in the army. I had no idea. Being in the infantry, there's not really a lot of jobs in the world for me, and so I went back to school and I started studying public speaking because I was like, all right, I can talk. Let me figure out how to talk to a lot of people and see how I can make this into a living. So I went back to school to figure out what I was going to do. Um, and while I was in one of these classes, a flyer came across our desk. So it's like, hey, come try out for the summer's children's play. No, sorry, not summer, spring's children's play. And I was like, sure, why not? Let's go try this out. And I had no idea about acting, no idea about filmmaking. I literally got out of the army, had no idea what I was going to do. And so it said, come with an audition ready. And I was like, okay, let's check this out. So I Googled, what is an audition? And I'm picking up all these things, and it's like giving me Shakespeare monologues and all this other stuff. And I'm trying to read Shakespeare. Now, I've never taken any Shakespeare courses. And if you don't know how to read Shakespeare, you're not going to understand how to portray Shakespeare. It's a very specific rhythm that they have. Um, so I was like, this doesn't seem like something I need to do for a children's play. And when my kids were younger, I used to read them this book. There's a monster at the end of this book, and it's by Sesame Street. It's with Grover with his red nose. And when I would read it, I would read it and make voices like, "Don't turn the page." And so I did this. And I was like, you know what? I know this book. I'm just going to go in and pretend the book is like 10 feet tall and I'm Grover and I'm walking you through the pages and all this other stuff and all the crazy stuff that happens on the pages. I did all the actions and stuff like that. I was just being goofy, just being my silly self. And it turns out that the director actually reads that same book to his children. And I ended up getting the lead role in one of the lead roles in this play. So there was three leads. It was Lily's Purple Plastic Purse, and I got to play one of the nerdy mice that got to teach kids that it's okay to stand up to your bullies, which in turn helped little Nestor, who was always bullied, heal and know that you're doing something that like you needed, you're helping now in the future. And through that process, I realized that this is what I wanted to do was teach people lessons through art and entertainment. Because as a young child, learned a lot through movies and anime and like life lessons. Like I've learned a lot from online, like from TV dads. So TV had a lot of influence on me growing up without me realizing it had a lot of influence on me growing up. It taught me to be a better person. Um, Through that process of doing that play, I ended up going in and I enjoyed it so much that I auditioned for the next play and they they were like, yeah, we want you to be this guy. And they wanted a whole like 20-person sword fight. And I was like, well, I sword fighted for years in this group called the Society of Creative Activism. And it's a literal group that goes out and creates medieval type wars, and you wear medieval garb and you just kind of transport yourself back in time. And so you walk around, my lords, my ladies, thou cup is empty, or you know what? Thigh looked at me weirdly and slapped somebody with their glove. And like then now you have a duel and it's a sanctioned duel. And so it goes in front of like the king and queen and all this other cool fun stuff. So I was like, I know how to sword fight. So I got my group together, my sword fighting crew, and I was like, hey guys, will y'all help us do this? They came in. We created this huge 20-person sword fight on in a black box. And it turned out pretty fun. Well, that one got me into doing my first short film with somebody that was out there. And I was like, oh, this is fun. I'm really enjoying this. And so I started doing a little bit more acting. And then I decided I was really going to start hitting it in 2019. I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is it. This is the future. So I started hitting it. And as we all know, what happened right around the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, the vid said, hey, buddy, sit down. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, okay. So, like, the thing I want to do for the rest of my life is now shut down. This is
Yeah.
great. This is amazing. This is perfect. This is exactly what my life needs at this point in time. So, just so happened, I met a really good friend of mine. His name is Tristan French. Amazing dude. He was an indie filmmaker, and I auditioned for something of his, and I got one of the roles in his thing, and I started helping him with fight choreo and his stuff, and we made this really cool trailer. And then he asked me to help him write a different show. So I'm sitting there on his couch, writing away on the show that has kids and all this other cool, magical, fun stuff. And the TV goes, hey, yo, there's this really crazy disease out here that we don't know anything about. Stay in your homes. And I was like, yo, bro, we can't film this right now because there's kids involved. And if you're an adult, you can make a choice. Your choice to do what you want, go do you do. I will never ask a child to do something that could possibly put them in danger. So I was like, yeah, this project right here is on hold. We finished the script and we put it on hold, and now we're sitting there stuck. Like, oh God, um, what are we gonna do? And uh, and then we started writing a show that we were like, you know what? We just want to make people laugh. We want to do something stupid, and the stuff that used to make us laugh was these '90s shows. So so we wrote the show called Opposites. And during COVID, we would it was the craziest schedule that we could have happened, but we were like, what else are we gonna do? We uh we wrote episode 1 this week. And then the next week we wrote episode 2, we filmed episode 1. The next week we edited episode 1, filmed episode 2, wrote episode 3. The next week, we edited and released episode 1. We wrote episode 4, and we were filming episode 3 and editing episode 2. Like in that, like finish editing, release, start editing 2, film 3, write 4, and we did this week after week after week for like 12 weeks. It was madness. We had to take a break in between because it was a lot of work, and trying to write something and try to work around COVID and all this other stuff was crazy. But we came out with a really cool, funny show that like I really started learning a lot of the filmmaking process. And then as soon as COVID ended up, I ended up going right back to school to finish off my school. So I graduated in like at the beginning of COVID with my associates, and then it took about a year doing this show, and then about a year in, went back to CSUN, where I went into the theater program, and they were trying to get me to like sew clothes and dye clothes and do all this other stuff. And I was like, I don't want to, this isn't what I want to do. And then I found out about their film program, and I was like, oh, all right, this is what I want to do. So I tried to transfer thinking it was going to be easy. And they're like, oh no, we're impacted. And I was like, and watch me, watch me get into this mug. And the lady was quite condescending. She was just very condescending about like, yeah, we're impacted, most likely won't get in. And I said, okay. So for there was television and film program. I ended up applying for the television because I was like, this looking at the things I learned more in the television program because I had to make a whole bunch of short films, same way that film does. I just didn't get the budget that film does. But in television, I also had to learn how to run a television multicam studio, how to direct, how to write, how to get your cameras to move, how to switch from camera one to camera four because this is the moment and all in live action. I was like, these are skills that I think would be better than just focusing straight only on film because there's 10,000 filmmakers out there that are amazing that never went to school. So I'm not after the stuff that I can learn easily by filming. I'm after the stuff that I can't learn easily, like getting my hands on a 4 camera studio. Like, that's not a possibility. And in the television program, we ended up getting some really cool stuff, like a giant green screen. And then they ended up building a whole digital wall that we filmed most of the projects on. And so I got to learn a lot of stuff that like the Mandalorian and the way the future of the industry is going. But yeah, so I filmed my short film, got in, and then Bob's your uncle, met you, finished, graduated, and then yeah, that's how I started in all this.
But I really want to know what you faced when you were trying to move from theater to CTVA. Is it the right
Yeah,
word?
yeah. So yeah, when I you're right. All every business, every structure, all has their issues. Just like everybody, all the way down, they just have a multitude of levels they have to go through. I faced quite a few challenges there. Like the first one, when I tried to call up and I was like, yeah, I would like to transfer over to this. I met some opposition, and they really sounded like they were trying to talk me out of getting into the program that I wanted to get into. And they're like, yeah, it's impacted. Not a lot of people get in, all this other stuff. And I was like, don't tell me what I can't do because that's what I'm gonna do even more. I mean, you know what? Go ahead and tell me what I can't do so I can just prove you wrong. You know, but the problem is like not a lot of people have that like gumption in them. That sometimes when people are like, "Oh yeah, it's impacted, it's this," they're gonna get discouraged and they're gonna not want to be. They're not gonna want to give their full all because they're like, "I'm probably not gonna make it." Being more encouraged, like, yeah, just understand it's impacted, but do your absolute best and let's see what you got. You know, like I'd rather see people like put their all, like, yeah, you know what, I have a possibility of getting, I'm gonna give it my everything so I can get in there. Um, so getting into the program, you know, I met the opposition, but I got in on my first try. So I didn't have the issues that a lot of other like students have faced. Like some students didn't get in for multiple rounds. And when I got in, they actually had just changed the program. Like so for film, you have to take like 12 pictures to tell a story. Okay, cool. And then you have to write why you want to be a filmmaker and all this other stuff. For television, they didn't have a packet like that you had to do. You just kind of applied, and whoever got in got in. Well, my first semester, you actually had to create a 1 minute short film to be in a television series. Yeah, which kind of was like, okay, so I got to make a short film while film has to take pictures. That seems a little not correct to me, but all right, you know what? That's the way your guys' program works. It's not me to say anything about it. Um, and then, so I created my short film, got in, but I've seen people not be able to make it in, and it sucks. But it also comes from the start of the beginning of being discouraged of like, hey, this is impacted. That's fine. This is what I want to do. Like you have to understand that like sometimes there's difficulties in life, like it being impacted. That's a difficulty. That's something that you as a person goes, okay, there's a lot of people that want to do this. I have to be better than those people so I can get in. So they notice me. I don't need you putting a freaking another stop sign in front of it going, yeah, you know, you might not get in. Don't say that to me. There's no reason for that. And that comes from that own personal person. That doesn't come from CSUN specifically because CSUN's not over there telling that person, you know, tell them this thing. They're just like, yeah, let them know it's impacted. So it's not particularly like CSUN, but other individuals there. Some other things that I found difficult while going there was you're dealing with a lot of people that go to school and they're like, oh yeah, film seems like fun and easy, and I can go to college for something fun and easy for a while. And what that does is it really impacts the people that are there to actually make film, to do it, to not have like the entire team trying to be cohesive and just people being lazy and lax. So that again is the individuals. Yeah, through all that, um, they have their the issues with you know school and not school. That was a dumb thing to say. They have their issues in can't even think. They have issues all over the place. Like with signing up for the school, with administration. There we go. That's the word I was trying to think of. Administration. They have issues with their administration. But to be honest, I honestly really loved CSUN. I love the amenities that I got there. The veteran area there was amazing. I got to hang out with a whole bunch of vets. I met you at the gym. Um, Freaking loved the gym. The gym was like my second home. And then we got like at first TV's equipment was kind of like the redheaded stepchild. We kind of got like the hand-me-downs, um, like the Marines to the Army. Like the Army hands down all their equipment to the Marines. Grand eaters. You can leave that in there. That's for all my vets out there that watch you. But yeah, like we got a lot of hand-me-downs, and then Professor Jakia, which is one of my favorite professors. He's a hard ass, but he's good. You know, he wasn't nice. He wasn't nice to people that didn't try, but if you showed him that you tried, he would give you his all. And he really fought for us to get the new digital wall and a new set. And he worked really hard. So like him and a coalition of other professors, I'm sure were in it, but he's the one that I know was the forefront of it all. Um, and so like I'm thankful for all the equipment that we got, and I'm thankful for of course I wish I could have been there the next year when they got like the 7 black magics. But hey, you know I'll deal with my one black magic that the shim was wrong and all that other stuff. But yeah,
Oh
so
yeah. They
there's
have
my
7 black magics now?
yeah. They oh man, the new equipment room manager and Darius have freaking just elevated that equipment room um tenfold, because like what was happening was you know like I said earlier, television was redhead stepchild of everything else, and Jakia was like, this is ridiculous, these guys need the equipment also, we can't give these guys $5,000 to start their film, give these guys no money to start their film, and then tell them to go rent equipment while giving these guys even more equipment. It kind of there was like no equality in the levels of film and television. Like television didn't matter, but television is huge. Like Netflix, uh, Paramount, Hulu, all these streaming services. That television, those are 30-minute series, hour-long series. They're not an hour and a half to 2 hour long movies that are going into theaters. Yes, there are films on there, but mostly those are straight to TV films. So it's television still.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
with each passing day, it's like the line between television and film it's getting blurred because have you seen Shogun, the production quality and Stranger Things? It's like 300 million, if I'm not wrong, the whole
Yeah.
fifth season. So
There should never be, like, I understand back when the golden age of Hollywood, the separation in television and film, because what was happening was film people would hire these specific actors and they would put them in all their films. Television would then hire all these actors. So you have a television actor and you have a film actor, and they didn't cross because it was the golden age of Hollywood. It's this, you know, hierarchy for some reason. But now people that watch films, they want to be entertained. They want good quality. We're not want or TV. We don't want to watch television and be like, all right, that was lackluster. We want an entertaining freaking show. And to be honest, budgets are a little ridiculous. The amount of money that gets thrown through these things is out there. Um, but people need to be paid for their time, their efforts, and all that other stuff. So where is that fine line? But the difference between television and film, there's it's nothing now. Like everything is, you can film single camera or multi-camera on television and film. And television used to be done on sets specifically. Like they built a set and they were there and they were for a camera studio and it was a studio television show. Once it starts moving out of the studio, starts moving into the real world, now it has to be filmed like a freaking film set. You have to have all the same stuff, all the same um, permits and insurances and everything. They don't go, oh, this for television will make it like cheaper for you because it's for television. No, it's the same freaking thing. So there is no blurred line. So like being at CSUN and going, hey, we need to make our thesis film, and they're like, oh yeah, well, film's got all the cameras already checked out, and they and even if you come first and film comes in and goes, hey, we needed this, they would be like, hey, film needs this. They got to remove it from your thing. And it's like, well, that sucks. Now I got to figure out a budget to rent that. And film got a budget and we didn't. And it's like, bruh. Um, so yeah. Also, luckily, Shakia found out that kind of happened during our equipment checkout, and he fought with the school and got the school to give us a little bit of a budget. It was about half the amount that they give film, but they gave us a little budget to go rent some stuff.
Hmm.
So that was nice.
Is it because of the fact that I think there was no difference between tuition, right? From
Mm,
film to
no,
uh,
the school tuition is school tuition. You pay credit wise. It's not like you go to engineering school and it's more money.
yeah.
You paid for your credits, you paid for your credit hours, and then all the credit hours, whatever you choose to learn is what you choose to learn in those credit hours. You pay for them. So no, the degree that's more expensive is when you go from like a bachelor's to a master's, right? But it's still credit hours. The master's for a film is the same amount as the master's for um, an engineering degree if you have to take the same amount of hours, right? Engineering might take 45 more hours, credit hours, right? So it may become a more expensive degree because it needs more hours for the educational routes of how it's done. But yeah, it's the same price for film and television, same price for a math degree, a teaching degree, a theater degree. It's all the same.
Okay. No, I was just thinking about what logic they're thinking of because is it like more people in film? That's why they get the priority. I don't know because
Film just, I think film's just been on this like golden pedestal for so long that it just is there. But actually, to be honest, I think thinking about it, I think television is actually just the degree is the same price, right? Like I have to pay for these credit amounts. Did you have to pay for anything when you were going through school for you got an engineering degree, right?
yes.
So as an engineering student, did you have to pay for anything to like you had to go pay for this equipment to put together this project to show them, or did they give you all that stuff?
No, no, no. There was no. It's like they don't give you projects. They didn't give money for the projects. They just like you make it on your own. It depends on the engineering. Like for some example, for computer program, right? They're not gonna pay for your computer. They pay for the software and everything, but
Yeah,
like you make your website on your own, software on your own. So
yeah.
it's same with like the physical things. Like they rent you stuff. They will give you all the stuff. You don't have to pay much. You have to build it together. But in what way you're asking? Like
So like in television, like I have to film a episode of something, right?
hmm,
So that means I need equipment, right? Now let's say not everybody in the class has a camera. Like there may be one person that has the camera. There may be one person that has lighting. Maybe me, I knew a lot of people. So I got like I worked my butt off to learn and learn what I was learning, but meet a lot of people to where I had a really good team of assets. But they would tell us that we need to go film this, right? Well, that means I need to pay for a location, permits, actors' time, food, all this extra stuff. So like, not only do I have to pay for this tuition, I now have to pay for all this extra stuff that's on top of it. So like my set is running.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's unfair.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And then like at the end, our thesis film, we're supposed to raise $10,000 for it. While they and we're not usually we got lucky because Jakia fought for us. That's a different story. But usually they don't television didn't get any budget. Film got 5 grand from the school.
Yeah, that's
So part of the tuition that they paid and part of the tuition they paid, they got part of their tuition back. We had to pay more money.
so it yeah, it doesn't make sense. And again, it's correct me if I'm wrong. For TV, how long is your project usually?
Each semester comes with different versions of the project. So like my first semester, we had to do little silly films around the school, right? Little 1 minute things to 30-second things to like, just go do a panning shot of a bird, right? Go do a tilt up shot of the building corner, stuff to just teach you how to work it. Then this like next semester, it got into an actual little short film, which was like 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? And then the next one, it was a 5 minute and a 10 minute. And then the next one was an actual series that that they added on. So we had to add on a whole like 5 episodic series into our semester. So now I'm filming 5 episodes, and we gotta raise budget, and we gotta rent location, vehicles, lights, all this other stuff because that's what is written and what we need, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so like it was a lot of stuff changes. And then the last semester is your thesis. And so you have to do a 30-minute episodic. So like it has to be an episode, so a beginning and a cliffhanger for people to want to come back to see the second episode, right? Um, that kind of a thing.
Hmm. So for
And
film, I'm comparing it to film. Like there's must be some because I was thinking in a way that for TV you have to shoot longer, right? And your project should be longer in production and pre-production as well.
you
Because
would think
there's
so.
yeah.
That's not how, but like film has like 2 semesters to do their one film, their
Oh
one
wow.
30-minute short film, right? They
Hmm.
don't have an hour film. They have a 30-minute short film that they have to do that they get like 2 semesters. Like this semester is pre-production, production. This semester is like post and then showing it or something like that. That's how I've been explained to it. I don't know completely if that's correct. It may or may not be. So don't hold me to that. But yeah, like the things I heard, I was like, this is crazy, man. I think they should just take both the film and television and just
Yeah.
combine it and make one bigger freaking course and just have them all learning the same stuff. And then they can work across the board and help each other with their things and get different experiences. And
Yeah.
everybody will get to know each other instead of just, oh no, I'm in the film court. Like I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the film and the television because I cross worked a lot of times.
Hmm.
But that not a lot of people do that, and not a lot of people understand to do that because they're barely getting going. I went back to school a little older, so I kind of understood. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about your education in film and how did you we got into the film, not film like entertainment industry. And so apart from your experience in season, how did okay, so my first question would be, did you went to the field to be an actor or a director? And how did okay, well, answer me that question first.
Yeah, I got you. Um, okay, so I joined the entertainment industry to be an actor. Like an actor that's what I started off as, and that's what I still strive and am. Strive to be and am today as an actor. Um, Everything else kind of fell into place. So like while I was acting and doing the plays over here, I did the fight choreo for the sword fighting pirate one. And then someone seen that and invited me to be part of a short film where they're like, "Yo, can you do can you create a fight choreo?" And it was me and my friends, and I was like, "Yeah, we could." practice it and make it look really cool. So that's what we did. We practiced it. I freaking looked up what makes good fight choreo, learned it was angles and all this other stuff. Created what I would say a decent first fight choreo. I haven't seen it in a long time, but from my memory, there's a lot of things I would fix now with the knowledge that I have. But so the fight choreo kind of happened with that. I wasn't trying to be a fight coordinator or a stunt coordinator. It wasn't like something I was striving. I was just really into the acting side, but I learned that I needed to have more than one hat. Um, and then directing kind of only took off when I went to CSUN. I had never directed anything before. And then the first project I directed, other than like my own little single things that I did for like my 1 minute things where I had my friends there. Like I had those few little directing things where I like, because we had to work on our own projects. They're like, hey, here's this project. So I have one that's on my YouTube right now that's called Bank on It. And it's about three dudes in a dark room talking about the heist they're about to go on. And one of them was like, yo, I didn't get any email minutes about this. Like, I don't remember the last group message. And the leader's like, you want to take notes on our illegal activities? Right. And two of them are wearing black turtlenecks while the other one's wearing a white shirt. And he's like, yeah, we could have coordinated better. We could look like a team, team building exercises. We're about to go rob a bank. Right. And it's called Bank on It. And it was just a stupid, silly thing. So that was kind of like my first real taste of directing because it was all like, it was my vision of what I wanted to see. And then I went into doing a 5 minute short, which I think you might have seen. That was called call it Happy St. Patty.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's a little horror short that we kind of that like I wrote and I was the director, and then my DP came in and he added a whole lot of stuff. So we ended up sharing the director credit for it because he had put in a lot of information and a lot of like his own ideas into it. And I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. Collaborative. I'm down. Um, and so it only looked so good because of our collaboration. And it's a little comedy horror. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought I enjoy it. Would love to make it bigger and better one of these days. But yeah, so that kind of gave me with the directing bug, and then everyone there just kind of seen me as a director, and it wasn't really what I was after. I'm the actor. That's why I kept acting and all this stuff too. That's why I'm in. That's why so many people knew me in CSUN because I acted in like everything that was in CSUN television things and CSUN film things, and then I would go out and film at AFI or other schools, and like I just got to know all these different like creatives that were creating different films, and then these guys would all somehow know each other, and so I'd be on one set with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and this set would happen, and so actor was my main one, and then directing, and then because I knew stunts, well, understood angles because I was going through cinematography school, and that was the basis I went through was cinematography. That was my emphasis, and so learning camera angles, the way to use the camera. I wanted to be a better actor, and then making that show Opposites over the pandemic. We like I learned that my camera angles and my need to learn the camera was lacking, and that's what I was lacking. I was like, okay, let me go to school and learn this thing. So that's what I went to school for, and then kind of started directing. And I was like, oh, I really kind of enjoy taking the pictures that I see in my brain after reading a script and getting them onto a screen so other people can see them. I was like, this is fun. So that really started getting into my whole like director places and so I was like, okay. And then I like action films and I like comedy and I like slapstick. So Jim Carrey is one of my heroes. I love Jim Carrey. Like a lot of my freaking comedy, my facial expressions. I'm very facial expressive. expression in my acting. It's like one of my things. Like I could bring it down and be subtle, but like I love that comedic, like basis. It's my kind of thing. Um, and so how much? Oh yeah. So yeah. I started off as an actor and then I found that directing and then I started doing stunts with people and I was like, okay, I'm just going to use my experiences. So I use my experience as a sword fighter already. Well, then I was also in the military for 11 years as an infantryman. So I learned all the how to use your weapons, how to move through a building, how to look like you know what you're doing, all this other good stuff. How to actually shoot, how to move military like. So like I have swords, sword and shield, fencing, um, daggers, all this, and then I have military training with weapons and all this other stuff. And then I've taken different various hand-to-hand combats over the years, like boxing, Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu, karate. I'm not a master in any of them. Put me into a ring with all the rules and all that other stuff. I'm most likely going to be taken out pretty quickly. I'm not trying to say I'm a master. Can I look like I know what I'm doing? Yes. So I took all that and I was like, all right, I know filmmaking, I know directing, I know angles, I know acting, I know all this stuff. Okay, let me just add this into my physicality and start doing fight and stunt choreos and start creating some really cool stunt scenes. And people just started accepting that I know what I'm doing. And so I'm slowly grinding my way through that.
Mm. But it's mostly about the fight scenes. There's no the stunts in a way. You're not talking about the stunts when someone is just getting thrown out of a car or any car stunt. I think that's not your expertise.
No. So I do some car stunts. Like I've done simplistic car stunts where it doesn't actually have anything to do with a stunt. It's more of a camera angle and safety of what I'm trying to do. Like I did one for a student film where they wanted this young girl to fall off a curb and then she gets hit by a car. I was like, cool. And they wanted a body to flip over the car and all this other stuff. And I was like, no.
Mm.
One, you guys don't have the budget for the insurances for that. You're not hiring a stunt person to do this, and I'm not putting a child into that kind of danger.
Mm.
So what we did is we caught an angle of the car coming around the corner this way. We caught the girl was doing the acting. The girl falls down on the curb, and then with the car only going like 5 miles an hour with over the shoulder, we drop the phone. I come back up, and the brakes cut to black. She rolls in with blood on her face and stuff like that. And so with the fast editing cutting, it looks like oh, car comes around the corner, girls are talking, person drops their phone, person realizes what they're about to do, girl pops up, boom, blood, all this other stuff. Other girl screams. It sells the scene, right? It now would it be cooler to have somebody smash up against the freaking window? Yeah, but we ain't got the money for that. So we're not going to do that kind of stunts. Do I do like high falls or rope pulls or lighting people on fire? No. If they want anything like that, I'm like, there are specific people that have expertise of that um, that I go and I get. And I'm like, this is who you need, and you have to pay for those specific things. Or I usually talk people out that are on low budgets. Like, you don't need this explosion. You don't need it. What you need to do is get a fog machine and a door that matches the door and throw the door against the wall with the fog machine and add the explosion sound into it. You don't need the actual explosion. For some reason, everybody wants to put fire inside buildings, and it's like you guys don't understand what an explosion inside a building does. And they're not building the sets, so they don't have the money for it. So we're gonna cheat it. And cheating is if you're not cheating, you're not trying, especially in filmmaking.
Yeah, but it does teaches you a lot when you work with almost no budget, right?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, it stretches your creative muscle as I put it. So, okay, first of all, it's okay, being an actor definitely helps when you're directing, right?
Oh yeah, yes,
Okay,
I believe so.
okay, perfect. So, in that way, when you were just an actor, Did you learn more about when you were in these three fields, constantly hopping from an actor to a director to a stunt coordinator? How did it help you throughout in a way that you would be like, okay, a well-rounded individual, I know everything about it. But if you have to look back on it to see your development as an artist overall, how would you say that it helped?
The biggest thing I think that hopping through all these has helped me with, like, each one, going from an actor to a director, from a director to a stunt coordinator, from a stunt coordinator back to an actor, and then being an actor that's doing stunts, working with the stunt coordinator, or being an actor that's doing stunts, working with the director, or being the actor and the director working with the stunt coordinator. What it's done is helped me learn to discuss all the way across the board with my team. I feel as a director, I need to understand everything on set. Do I need to be an expert in everything on set? No. I need to hire the people that are the experts in the set, but understand how I need to talk to these people so I can get what I want out of them. Right. So a lot of things that I noticed as just an actor that I would walk around is I would meet a lot of directors and director of photographies that would argue, and they would argue and fight and argue. And it's like, okay, why are y'all arguing? This is a film and a collaborative effort, and you have your extras and your actors all out here, but y'all are sitting here bickering back and forth. And it's like, I understand people don't communicate well, and they have a hard time communicating. And so, like, I went to cinematography. I went and took cinematography courses for the fact that, one, as an actor, I'm going to learn how to play with the camera better. I'm going to see that the director of photography is putting on a slider. And so, oh, he's going to do a sliding movement. So he's going to track me right or left. He can tilt up and down. And when we do our rehearsal, I can run my rehearsal and kind of keep an eye out of what the camera is doing and see where they're moving and see what their brain is doing. And so in my brain, I know what the camera kind of sees, right? It's maybe not be exact, but I kind of see, okay, so I could play and open to the camera more here without having the director go, cut, hey, can you open to the camera more? Like, I already know this. I know this already. So that means my takes as an actor are going to go faster. That means I'm going to waste less time. I'm going to cost less money for the production. So bam, my cinematography is already helping me with my acting. Boom. As a director, all right, now I'm having to work with a director of photography going, this is what I want to see. Right. So I've worked with a lot of directors of photography. I've never, ever, ever had an issue that I can think of. Me and my buddy Sam, we bicker at each other, but usually it's just like collaborative bicker, not a like a fight bicker. It's a different kind of like, this is what I'm looking for, bro. Yeah, I know this. And usually when he comes to me and he's like, yo, this is why. Cool, bro. You know what? It's beautiful. Let's move it. I love it. You seen something that was a little bit better than what I seen in my brain and you made it happen. Love it. Let's go. So I'm able to talk, and I've worked with a lot of other director of photographers. Like I'm working with this guy named Chef. Loves him to death. He's a great cinematographer. Very Chef shoots indies or something like that. Is his Instagram handle. Um, he's great, and he digs in and he makes it beautiful. And like I don't, I just go, hey, I'm looking for something here. I need a light here on them. I need more headlight or more of this light or more mood light or this, that. And then he goes, oh, this will get it. Cool. I want this type of shot here, here, and here. Okay, I think this would be better. Cool. Let's make it happen. Collaboration, right? So now I've learned with my cinematography how to talk to my director of photography, and then as an actor, I've learned how to work with the cinematography. Now, as an actor and a director, if I'm just acting, I'm listening to these directors, and I'm like, okay, sometimes they do things that I like, and they do things that I don't like. So I kind of take my directing the same way as I did my leadership in the military. There's a lot of leaders that I liked a lot of things that they did. Then there's the things that I didn't like that they did. So I grab the things that I like and I hold on to it. The things I don't like, which worked for them, that's fine. That's their thing. I throw it away. It's not for me. I then go to this director and I like all these things, but I don't like these things. Oh, I throw that away and I grab this. And now I'm creating my ability to do what I think is right and how I like things to go. That's why I'm very like, no, this. You've seen me work, you've seen how I do these kinds of things. And I'm very just like, let's go here, but I'm always supportive and very collaborative. And that's just kind of what I want to be. I want to see what I need, and I need certain things because I know that we need certain things on set. I need it done that way. Cool. Let's get it done. Now let's make it all. And how is it going to happen? What do you need help with? What can I do to make your job easier here? And like having an understanding of each thing from production to cinematography to being a gaffer, to being the director, to being the actor, to being set design, right? Don't ask me to do set design. No, don't ask me to do production, paperwork. I know what I'm good at. Paperwork is not me. I'm not that guy. We're good there. But yeah, so each one of these aspects, I feel like it's always helped me be better in each one in some kind of circular fashion.
Yeah. And to add to that, I think your personal life and whatever you did in personal life helps a lot to your experiences,
Yes.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, yeah, like I talk to people all the time about my life, and a lot of people tell me I need to write movies or a TV show about my life. Um, like I grew up with a really cruddy childhood. I was bullied so bad to the point to where I had to have surgery to correct what these bullies did to me. I grew up in an abusive household. Um, like my mom was on drugs. She was addicted to drugs. Ended up beating me with a pot of cooking oatmeal. Like it was a crazy time. She's better now. She's completely sober. She runs the AA hall, helping other people get sober, and she is a completely better person now. And I love her to death. These are just my experiences as a child of things I had to go through, and grow from. Um, my mom's drug addiction got us homeless as children. Ended up in the woods, almost eaten by a bear. I told you that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, the
Sure.
bears.
The world wants to know what the world wants to know. Share
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you want me to share it right now?
Why not?
So, so I'm 11 years old, and my mom, loses the apartment, and so she's like, in all her like addicted craziness, she's like, you know what? I don't want my kids to know we're homeless, so we're gonna go camping. So we've been camping for like 6 months at this point now, right? And I've been like bathing in the river, and I'm like, Mom, are we homeless? No, we're camping. At some point in time, we usually go back home from camping.
Yeah.
Why is there a home that we're not going to if we're camping? Like, let, I'm a child, but come on, let me know things. Anyway, one night, my mom and it's her boyfriend also, and his daughter are out there with us. It's my middle brother, me, my mom's boyfriend's daughter, and then my other little brother are all sleeping in the back of the tent. And it's like a 10-man tent. So there's two sections. We got like our junk up front, and then we got the kids' sleeping area in the back, and then the parents slept in the van. Well, they're in the van doing whatever they do,
Mhm.
addicts. Me, in the middle of the night, I hear the van start up and just drive away. I'm like, did y'all just leave children in the middle of the woods? Like, are you So I'm scared. I'm not leaving this tent. It's dark out there. I'm a grown man. I'm still scared of the dark sometimes. Leave me out in the middle of the woods. I'm still scared of the dark to this day. Like there are things out there that can eat me. I'm 11. There's a lot of things that can eat me. Like, I'm bigger now. A lot less things are gonna try, but there's still things, right? Um, about 7, 8 minutes later, I hear the van pull back in. And they park the car. I'm like, all right. Where'd you go for 7 minutes in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the night? This is just wild work. I don't know what's happening. So I just whatever. I lay back down and I'm trying to go back to sleep. And in the back of the tent, so like the back of the tent is right here, my pillow is right here, and the kids' heads are all this direction. I hear something in my body goes, sit up, Nestor. So I stood up And of course, like every person would do, I turn to where the sound's coming from. At the point in time that I turn around and I face the back of the tent, four claws pop through the back of the tent, slide down, the two nails landing right where my eyeballs would have been on this pillow, pulls the pillow out of the tent and proceeds to rip apart my pillow. I am now staring at a bear through slivers of a torn pen, eating the pillow my head was just on. I'm adrenaline. Just I reach down, I grab this kid, and I grab this kid, and I just run forward, and I just drag them out of the tent. Now I'm running out the tent, and it's a two-section tent. So I'm getting the first section. I'm going to the front. My mom's boyfriend unzips the tent and goes, "There's a bear." No shit. I'm dragging kids for no reason. I get to the van. I chuck one kid in. I chuck the other kid in. I go to get in, and my mom says, locks the door and says, "Go get your other brother." No, survival of the fittest. He didn't wake up. I'm here. Why send me back? You got two still. You got two.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in the van, so I had to go back. Luckily, my mom's boyfriend's coming out the freaking tent. He answered my brother. I grab him. I run back to the van. I chuck my little brother into the van, and I shit you not. So anybody that knows those old school like sliding door vans, not these new ones that got the button that the door slides closed for you. No, the one you gotta like break your back to close, okay? The one that takes every ounce of effort you got to close these mugs, right? 11-year-old me jumps into the van, grabs his mug, slides that bitch closed, targeted, locks it, and lands on the freaking floor. I am now sitting behind the driver and passenger seat on the floor, and I look up. My mom's boyfriend is there trying to put the dog in the van now, and the dog is frozen like this. Dog's not going into the van; it's just frozen. And my mom's boyfriend looks me in the eyes and goes, "Do not look it in the eyes." So the first thing an 11-year-old does is the exact opposite thing that you tell it not to do. So I go, huh? And now me and the bear are locked and I embrace. The bear's lost. I'm lost. He doesn't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. My mom's boyfriend grabs a dog, chucks it into the van, hops in, puts that bitch in reverse, door still open, and starts driving out, closing the door. I get up, I see the bear drop and starts like chasing us through the shadows. As he stops, turns around, takes off, right? And the bear sinks away into the darkness. We go back the next day, our entire campsite's completely destroyed, right? My mom, the next week, comes to me and goes, "Honey, I got you a gift." I'm like, "Oh, thank you, Mom. That's so sweet. Gifts? This is cool." She pulls out a pewter necklace with a freaking bear on it. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't need this in my life. Please. She still has the damn bear, by the way. And she still has it in her jewelry closet to this day. I know that I'm going to get it back one of these days. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because my mom got it for me. However, the trash is like 10 feet away. You know what I mean? Like, me and bears, just, we got to understand. They're there. I'm here. We cool. Camping me is not the greatest thing ever. 2 weeks later, my mom's boyfriend and her break up, and come to find out, the 7 minutes that they decided to leave in the middle of the night, my mom's boyfriend had heard something down the road, and as he gets up there, there's a baby bear digging into a dumpster that's 4 or 5 campsites away from us. So he decides that I need to scare this bear away. So he runs into the trash can, knocking the baby bear down, and the baby bear runs into the woods.
Oh.
And he decides to turn around and drive directly back. I mean, yeah. So people tell me I need to write stories about my life. That's the bear story, and I wasn't even a teenager at that point in time. Fast forward a little bit, I didn't want to go be homeless again, and things were still being a problem. So I started running drugs, and doing all kinds of not so good things in the world, but it was ways to survive and make sure that bills got paid when they needed to be paid, and all this other good stuff. Um, you know, few years later, I was sleeping in a slide because, my mom decided I wasn't supposed to be home that night. She was still going through her stuff. Um, so I was sleeping in a slide. So, hint, if you need to sleep outside, sleep in a plastic slide if you can find one. It will keep your body heat in there, and so you'll stay warmer. Little trick, don't sleep on a bench. There's no protection. There's no protection. It's just cold. All right. And then I got adopted by a wonderful woman named Peggy Baker. And then she got me she got me into a better place. And so I was able to reset who I was and become the person I am today through a lot more healing and growth. Now, with all that, good fun stuff, as an adult, went to the army, I got injured, I ripped my Achilles. I ended up having an addiction to pills because it just kept filling me with pills, opiates. So I was taking 40 milligram opiates about 12 to 18 times a day to block my pain. It ended up making me overweight. At this time, I had a partner, marriage, and all this other stuff. I was married with two kids, dog. This part's hard to talk about, but it all it all went away. It all went away. All that sad story. That all went away and whatnot. So life crashed, and then I came home trying to figure out what I was going to do. Where more people took advantage of me in my weak state, and dug me deeper into a hole to where I couldn't figure out what I was doing. The Army had kicked me out because I was physically unfit for the United States military because I was technically on the OB scale. I was 250 plus pounds, and I was addicted to opiates, and I had a torn Achilles and torn rotator cuffs. So they're like, you can't serve the United States military anymore. So they're like, go away. Um, so I'm out, depressed, fat, homeless, familyless. Like I'm not even in California. I'm in Texas. Came home, went back, tried to figure out some stuff. Some people took advantage of me, and then financially took advantage of me. Let me correct that. Um, and then that's when I decided to go back to school, and then ended up finding acting. And so I find that like I have a lot of things to pull from in my life, a lot of things to go from, a lot of stories to tell, a lot of ability to match emotions to, certain events. Like I've had a lot of good times in my life. Like I laugh a lot. I make sure I laugh a lot because life has a lot of downs. You got to laugh through them or it's always going to be tragic. Um, but yeah, all these emotions, all these times, all these things allow me to tell stories, allow me to build stories around characters and like, what is this person going through? Like, you as an actor, you get a line in a direction. Okay, it's a line in a direction. All right, here's the story. Here's overlay of the story. What is this person going through? Cool. What's this person been going through? What did this person go through as a child? What is this person growing into? What are they trying to like overcome personally that's conflicting with whatever's happening? Now, are any of these prevalent or ever going to come out on screen? No, but they help you develop a character inside yourself that you're able to live that's not you. So therefore, you can actually separate you from this person. And then through it all, you get to learn about yourself, which is probably one of my favorite things about acting is how much I've gotten to learn about me through creating other characters. Like I get to play the villain a lot. I get cast a lot as like the bad guy. Um, you know me, I run around singing Pokemon theme song. Like I'm a goof, right? I'm not over here kidnapping children. But like I get casted as that guy a lot, and I have to play that villain a lot. And I have to dig into that guy a lot, and it's like, okay, cool. And then I get to learn about myself. I get to be a little bit darker and find these things and go, okay, I really don't like this, but could I see myself somehow falling into this world if something didn't work out in my life? If I grew up somewhere else, if I did something else, if I didn't decide to not let my tragedies hold on to me and grow from them. But I have just gone through the depressive mode and just been that horrible human being. Yeah, yeah, there's things I could, pull from all this. So yeah, do I think life makes you a better actor? Yeah.
Yeah. And also, okay, you brought up a good point that sometimes you can be um, boxed into a certain type of roles just
Mhm.
because how the way you look, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
it is it the way be because if you look, that's why they get like big muscly guy can be mean and can be a
Well, yeah, I have the overshadowing eyebrows. So
yeah.
like the minute I tilt my head down, I immediately get the darker circles if I look up at you a little bit.
Mm,
My jawline is sharp.
mm,
I'm broader. I have dark eyes and dark hair. So darkness usually means more scary things. So if looking at all the Italian mobsters, I put the hair straight back.
mm,
It gets more villainous. If I have the hair forward, I could be more silly, right? But because I have, you know, this specific look and this, my voice is deeper and at this, I don't have that specific pretty boy look.
mm,
So I get casted as the villain a lot, which I don't mind it. I love playing the villains. They're usually the most interesting character. The heroes usually are kind of flat all the way through. The villain has a whole like, nah, man, I had this kind of story. Now I'm here for my revenge. Oh, you want to come at me? Nah, you're gonna lose, my boy. And then they lose again. And then it's like, okay,
mm.
it's okay. I'll be back. Watch me next Thursday.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah. So you do get boxed sometimes.
and it's sometimes it is hard to just get rid of that image or get rid of that stereotype you have for they make for yourself that you did not choose most of the time.
Yeah. It is extremely hard to get out of the box of what casting usually does. Because here's the thing. Right. And the whole entire world, the film industry is a business. As much creativity as we want to do, like I can go out and create my whole own projects and all that other stuff, and it's great, right? That's my creativity outlet. Now here is the business. This is where you're going to make your money and all this other stuff. So typecasting is a thing, and it sucks. A friend of mine, he went from having braids and he was getting like a lot of like gangster kind of films, and then he ended up shaving his head completely bald, and now he's getting like cop roles and stuff like that because he looks more like a professional cop instead of a gangbanger. And it's like, well, not everybody with braids is a gangbanger, and I think some cops actually have braid, but it's typecasting. It's what they do. And sometimes you have to lean into it just so you can start letting people know, hey, I'm this work. And then and sometimes like Jim Carrey did it. Like Jim Carrey was the comedic actor for like ever. And then all of a sudden he comes out with Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
It's not a comedy movie whatsoever. It is a drama and it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And then there was some comedy in a Truman Show, but that was a lot of drama also,
Yeah.
right? But the Spotless Mind was just drama, and people hated him for it for years. They were like, Jim Carrey, stay in your comedy section. Don't do this sad world stuff. That's this actor's thing, right? But he broke through it. Same thing with Robin Williams. When Robin Williams, I don't remember, I think it's Hunter or Hunted or something like
Goodwill
that.
Hunting.
No, no.
Goodwill. Goodwill
Goodwill
Hunting.
Hunting. Goodwill Hunting still kind of had a lot of Robin Williams wholesome actor kind of thing. So Robin Williams was a wholesome actor. He did a lot of comedy because he was very comedy, but he was a wholesome actor. So like a dad, he was like a good dad, right? And he did a lot of comedy. Welcome to Vietnam was a comedy drama, right?
Mm.
Because it was surrounded by war, but he made it funny. No, this Hunter Hunted, he was a psychopath, and he like kidnapped a girl and had her held up somewhere or something like that.
Mm.
I can't remember exactly what it's called, but people were like, "No, not my Robin Williams, not the genie, right?
Yeah.
Right? Not that guy." But yeah, so it's hard to break out of typecasting sometimes. But I also say dig into it. Like, yes, one of these days, someone's going to give you the other role, or you create it for yourself. But until then, get yourself on set, get yourself known, get yourself respected as an actor. So then when they see you and they respect you and your hard work and your ethic and they know how you are on set and they like working with you, and then you send this audition that they're like, wait, I didn't think you could do this. Then they'll bring that in way faster because they're like, well, he's already this. I didn't know he could do this. Now he can do this and he's this, or she's this, or they're this. The person is this. Bam. Take it. So like typecasting sucks and it's hard to get out of typecasting, but also use it. Use it to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, one more part that I want to ask, apart from talent, right? Let's say, for example, I'm the most talented actor out there, but I'm an asshole to everyone. And if there's someone who's like, I am a really mediocre actor, and but I have the most positive energy and I come here and everyone loves me. As far as in my experience, the second guy wins all the time.
Eh, yeah, not exactly, but yes, that's kind of what you hope for. Um, I meet a lot of people that are assholes all the time,
Mm,
especially in the industry. Um, yes, is it likely that you're going to push yourself out of work by being a jerk? Yeah, but a lot of people will deal with people being assholes um, on set because they're really, really good at what they do. Um, because I got them. But now here's the thing: as you get to a certain point, like there's certain points of like accolades that you have. So Robert Downey Jr. is a nice person now, right? He's this amazing actor that's here, here, and here, and people want to work with him because he's great and he delivers and he's all this other stuff. And then there's other actors that you probably have never heard of that were assholes that were really good. Um, Me personally, I don't want to work with the asshole.
yeah.
I don't want you on my set. I enjoy my time on set. I want other people to enjoy their time on set, and I want people to come back and want to work with me some more. I don't want this issue over here. So I usually try to squash issues pretty quickly if one ever arises. Um, but the problem is like right now with all these online auditions and stuff, there's no way for you to know whose personality is what. Yeah. So yeah, so like you're gonna send in these auditions, and everyone's gonna do the things, and then you got the one, and they're gonna do the lines for the character, right?
Yeah.
And the really good actor is most likely gonna send in a really good audition, and the other person is gonna send in a mediocre audition, and they're both going for the same role for the same pay. The person that's on the other side is like, oh, this person's really good. They did okay, but this person is the person that I see as the character. I want them, but then they're on set, right? That's when you meet them, and now you got to deal with the problem when you're on set, right? Everyone's gonna do the role and be like, "Hi, my name's Nestor Vinelli. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm 200 pounds, 6 foot, and I'm available for the dates." Right? It's this thing. It's a boom, 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 and then whatever the character is what they're gonna choose from. When you're on set, being an asshole is the fastest way to get you not brought back because everyone on that set's gonna remember you. Now, maybe not everybody on that set's gonna do something. Maybe everyone on the set does do something and they all become huge producers in Hollywood. Is it a probability? Yeah. Like, so don't be a dick while you're on sets. Be kind, uh, you know, be fun. Don't be a problem.
Okay, and I guess one personal note, but don't you have you ever felt that doing all this villainous no roles, you take your all the negativity you have in your heart, you take it out, and so in your personal life you become a little bit more positive. Does that happens to you?
Um, I can see where you're going with that. Yeah. So like I have I have aggression, I have angst, I have all this other stuff. And so yeah, when I get to be inside a character and I get to let go and use all this aggression and all this other stuff, and it's in a controlled environment that the person knows that the aggression is actually not really focused on them, it makes it easier not to be aggressive in my personal life. So my relationships, I'm not aggressive like that in. Um, like I don't have those kinds of like angst. I've gotten rid of that frustration that's already there, and now I'm past the point of frustration. Now I can think, right? A lot of people usually get stuck up in their emotions, but me, I get to use all my emotions. Okay, they're there now. I'm here, and I'm able to focus more. Um, some people will say like digging into the character can actually make you feel more like the character. Um, that comes from like a work that you have to do to not do that. And there's techniques out there that are for specifically teaching you to live the character's life, which I think is absolutely crazy because you got to be you and separate yourself from the world that you work in while still delivering really good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we talked about all the. Okay, one more thing. Is it easier for me, like a new individual who is not into this industry that much, apart from like the, okay, your contacts and network play a huge role in everything, right? In getting you more work as well, or is it still like the online audition and obviously your talent? But
All of it. Yeah, you are right. So there is that thing of like who you know, right? So me being who I am and making the things that I've done all comes from me meeting the people that I've met, right? I do a ton of auditions. I get a few roles from that, but most of my stuff actually comes from people that know me and know how I work and know my ethic and my personality on set. They're like, I really like working with you. I want you to do this. I really like working with you. I want you to do this. Cool, right? Um, so auditions are, you still need to continuously audition because you can't just count on people always wanting you to be in their films because they can't keep putting you in their stuff. Or you just end up as their main character, right? Um, so there's the whole auditioning point, but getting out there and while you're on sets, meeting those people on sets, getting that contact information, exchanging. What I like to do is tell people, "Yo, let's do the Hollywood handshake," and I show them my Instagram so they can put their Instagram because everybody in Hollywood works through Instagram, and everybody in Hollywood works through like all these like there's low indie budget Hollywood.
hmm,
Not I don't know how big budget Hollywood works. Don't ask me. I'm not there yet.
hmm,
Um, but I know that networking is extremely important because whoever you meet here, you don't know what they're going to do. They could probably do great things in the future. And then because you met them here and they've watched you do things, they go, hey, I'm going to bring you over here to this. Right. And that can just
hmm,
boost your career up. So meeting these people, getting to know these people, being friendly to these people, being kind, right? You don't have to be best friends, but maybe you are. Just don't be a jerk.
hmm.
But yeah, so it is kind of who you know. If you were a Nepto baby, uh, it would be a lot easier because you have access to all the people that already have all the money and have all the stuff. So it's easier to get your stuff seen by the people that need to see it. As a person that's struggling for it, it is more difficult and it is a hill to climb. Make sure you want to climb that hill before you start.
Yes. Okay, and apart from that, there's one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is that this industry in general, until you make it big, uh, you're not earning any money from it most of
Yeah,
the times,
yeah.
right? And a lot of people who want to break into it don't get to, they don't, I think they are not exposed to that fact, or sometimes they don't know it yet and they don't know any better, and then their finances collapse and sometimes the dream. Have you seen that happen, and how did you manage to? Well, I know how you manage some of it living with others and whatnot, but yeah.
Um, so yes, I have seen it happen. I've seen people get financially dried up and then have to move back home to wherever they came from. Um, Here's the thing, like you can make your own stuff at home, right? And you can audition from anywhere in the world as long as you have internet service. You can get onto those acting websites and all that other stuff and keep posting stuff and keep going to school and creating your own stuff so you can create these really cool characters for people to see. And then people will start paying for you to fly to where they want you to film. Um, yeah, until you start, I think it's like only the top 10, 15% of actors in the world actually make enough money to live off of their acting career alone.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now that means a lot of people have to supplement their money, so you have to do other things to get there. Like me, over December, I'm Santa Claus. So I'm gonna go play Santa Claus. And also in between playing Santa Claus, I'm gonna be going and selling Christmas trees. And in between all that, I'm gonna be doing some stunt choreo for these vertical films. So you got to supplement your income to be able to survive long enough to get through that threshold of no, I'm here. I've made enough content. People now know who I am. Bam. Not everybody gets lucky for it to be their first time. Not every does it happen? Yeah. Can it happen to you? Yeah. Did it happen to me? No. Good luck. Wish you the best. I hope it doesn't happen. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, it's finances suck. Finances are extremely hard. I've been through it from hell and high water. I started going to school after somebody basically stole like $10,000 that I invested into a company. Um, And they were like, "Oh, it's part of investing." I was like, "Well, you taking your girlfriend to Disneyland isn't, but okay." So I'm screwed out of this money now, right? So they got like 10 grand out of me. So I'm basically couch surfing, trying to go back to school. Luckily, not luckily, I did earn it. I went to the United States military and I earned what's called the GI Bill, which helped pay for school and gave me some living money to live while I went to school. Um, but it doesn't pay you enough to like rent a place or do or anything. It gives you just barely enough to like get some food, pay some gas and stuff like that. So you still have to supplement. So what I did, other than like I was couch surfing because I didn't have a job. I didn't have like I could have went back to a phlebotomy course, but like I was really focused on school and trying to get this film thing going. So I couch surfed a lot. I slept in my car a lot. Um, Being homeless wasn't something I was too afraid of, so I slept in my car quite a lot while getting my degrees. And then while I was going to CSUN, my first semester I was homeless, and then I applied for the RA position, which is a resident advisor position. So I ended up getting that job, which gave me room, board, and some food. So I was basically working for a space to live while going to school. And then in between all that, I would go and I would act in other college films. I would act in low budget films, building my repertoire and building my connections. Um, I would do odd end jobs. I would do Uber Eats. I would drive Uber. I would be doing all these different little side end jobs that whatever can make me money that I could continue to go to school in my hectic schedule and then add in the hectic schedule of trying to be an actor on top of all that. And then there's no job on this planet that's going to hire me, knowing that what I'm after. Like I'm in school, which is I got a class in the morning and a class in the afternoon. So students already have a hard time finding that. Now I'm trying to be an actor, so then I have classes in the morning, but then I have set all this day, but I might have this day off, right? So it makes it's my choice. It was difficult. So I did that. And then I lost the RA thing and I was about to stay sleeping in my car again. And then someone T-boned my car. And I got extremely lucky that you said that there was space in your home. And then we shared a space that was probably what, 1,200 square feet,
Yeah.
like
Uh,
1,200 square feet with one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, sometimes nine people.
people, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we weren't like roommates, bro. We were freaking bunkmates. We
Yeah.
literally laid and woke up seeing each other's eyeballs. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roommate is a very like,
A liberal term.
yeah, yeah, we can say that. So financially, it's never been easy. And trying to go to school and try to create the like, I still had to I had to put money in towards some of these films. Luckily, some of the people that I was doing with were a little bit better off than I was, and so they kind of helped in their way more. I ended up paying them back money that they were like, yeah, just give me back the money. So like it, I had a wheel and deal. I usually wheel and deal with a lot of my time because I didn't have the money, but I have the skill sets and I have the ability to show people what I can do. So here, yeah, let me get on set and just fucking do all this. And so I found that I was able to get on set and usually make a lot of things a lot better.
Hmm.
So finances are extremely difficult, especially in the film world. Now, once you get past that's the school, and once you get into the indie phase, um, raising money, getting benefactors, getting donations, getting investors, it's a whole other ball game. And it's like I'm right back into school, but I'm learning all kinds of other new things for it. So it's another step, and I recommend taking some type of financial courses if you have a chance to figure out this stuff a lot easier. I didn't do that, so I have no idea. So I'm learning it the hard way. Um, but it's also fun. It's a puzzle. It's like, okay, well, they want this, so I need to get this. I need to get this by getting this. And if I get this with this person, then I can get this to get this to get this to get this, and now I can go make this movie, right? Or people can invest into it that are your friends if they want to do it, or you just get together with a whole bunch of people like you do with the stunt stuff, with your anime fight stuff, just getting people together and making it happen. It's the best way to do it. Best way to get you going and get your name out there.
Hmm. But again, it's yeah, you have to be prepared for it in some way or another
Yeah.
for your finances to run thin at some point. Okay, so before I let you go and before we talk about your future projects that you want to mention here, um, if someone is listening and he or she or they are just looking at the screen right now and they're new and they listen all these stories, which are some of them might be like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore because it's too hard. What would you say to them?
Okay. I would say choose your heart. Um, the reason why is giving up on something that is a dream that you love, that you have passion for, that's like what brings you hope, happiness, and like life. That is hard. That is hard to look back and go, what if? Okay. Making it, getting there, doing all these things to sacrificing 18-hour days being covered in fake blood while someone just hit you with a sword in the back because the stunt didn't go perfectly fine. And then it starts raining and now you're cold and all this stuff is happening. Or you have the months of dead silence, nothing's happening. You have, bad times on set. It happens. They're hard. It's hard. All of it's hard. Making a movie is not hard in that way. It's a fun. It's fun. I want to make sure that that's stated. But everything has its hard. Getting there is hard. Getting to the point, sacrificing all those days and late nights and covered in blood is hard. It's fun, but it's hard. Looking back and going, what if I would have been that? Is also hard. So don't give up. Keep going through it. Yes, it's difficult, but don't give up. If you find yourself stagnant, make something. create something. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It doesn't have to be beautiful. You just made it. You make it. Don't try to get 25 of your friends to come together and put together this thing that you didn't take time to put together. You make it. Keep your creativity juices going and then talk to people. Go out and meet other creators. Do the free stuff. It sucks. It's hard. You know, you got to pay your own gas to go do this free thing with these people that you don't know if it's going to turn out. May turn out great, may not. Don't give up. If you actually want this, don't give up.
Absolutely. One question follow-up, but if it is like someone like me who's selectively introvert or selectively extrovert, they would be hearing to like, okay, or outright introverted, they would be like, oh, I don't want to talk to anyone. Oh, I'm screwed. What you gonna say to them?
Then create your character. Like you, at some point in time, no matter what, you're going to have to talk to people, introvert or extrovert. Extroverts are easier and more lively driven, while introverts are more quiet and subdued. Um, doesn't mean that you don't have to talk to everybody on set. You talk to very few people on set. You can save your energy by communicating to the right people. So producers, casting directors, right? Second ADs. Those people you want to meet too. Second ADs are going to get you hired for extra stuff to get you on set. You may or may not get lines, or you could, but you could keep meeting more producers. Producers are producing the film, so therefore they're the ones with the money makers, and they can actually talk to the casting directors to cast you. The casting directors do that, and they send it over to the director. The director likes you, right? These are the four main people that you need to talk to. No one else, right? If you feel like you want to talk to somebody else, you can and get their contact, which I recommend because that's the only way people are going to get to talk to you. If you are always quiet and in the back and no one can get to know you, no one's going to know you to hire you. So I'm not saying change your ways into being an extrovert. I'm saying take your battery, put it on overdrive, and then when you go home, drink your tea, cuddle in your blanket, pet your cat. Spend all your battery getting your life to where you want it, to where you don't have to do that.
Okay, that's a really good advice. Okay, any other future projects that you want to talk about here that you're excited for?
Well, let me think. Let me think. There's a lot of projects that like I'm excited for that are in the future. I got the I know NDA sometimes, not specifically. All right, so I'm gonna be kind of vague with them,
Okay.
just because I don't want any kind of issues happening. So right now, I'm slated to act and direct in a feature film that was written and being directed by a award-winning director, French Tibetan monk.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah, and it's about Auschwitz. So I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah. So I'm being and they have some actors that are in talks of leading this movie. I'm not a lead. I'm a heavy supporting, whatever it is, lead supporting, supporting lead. I don't know what exactly that would be, but I'm one of the supporting cast members in it, while that person's the lead. Um, but it's a really cool show. There's that one. I'm also slotted to direct a feature this year. Sorry, next year, 2026. We're in the middle of funding processes right now. Like I said, it's a learning process. You know, things here. A lot of people talk in this industry. Not a lot of people walk. It's like, okay, that's cool. We just got to keep going. We don't let these nays stop us. We keep going. You said no, cool, bye. Cool, bye. Don't let it hurt you. Not everybody wants to work with you. It's fine. You're not everyone's cup of tea. Um, so we're in the middle of getting all our finances. So I'm a director and actor in that feature. Um, there's that one. I'm also an actor, stunt coordinator in another indie feature film that's supposed to be filming in January. I will be playing a character somewhat like Death and slicing people up. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun and very dramatic and scary. It's going to be great. I'm excited for that one. Um, there's a few others that are like here in the works. One of my main ones that I'm actually looking forward to working on is Hemp Man. I have been working on this for years. This is my baby. But with everything that's happening, it's coming. It's on its way. Hemp Man is on the way. Uh, the Adventures of Hemp Man and Dabin will be seen as soon as possible. But that's like one of my big ones that I'm excited about. Um, all that, and then yeah, we'll see what else happens in 2026.
And shout out to Sam's project, R Sam, RDP,
Oh yeah,
for
which
most
one?
of
Which one?
Shadow War.
Oh,
Shadow
Shadow
War.
War, the one that we just did. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Well, he's got Shadow War that he just finished, and it's a short that follows a first. And he's trying to get these put into full on films.
Hmm.
But then he has another one that he just did,
Heaven's Edge.
Heaven's Edge, that has won ridiculous amount of awards for its trailer. And so we're trying to get that one. There's that those two aren't any of the ones that I just said. Those ones are, like I said, there's a whole bunch of like in conversation. Like I have like 45 different projects I'm in the
Hmm.
conversation with different multiple groups. Like three of
Hmm.
them are with Sam, a
Hmm.
couple of them are with my friend Tristan. One of them is with my friend Damon. Then there's Nation. Then
Hmm.
there's Josh Lang. I'm still waiting for the one that I filmed with the other Josh Mortison to come out. I have this December one of my shorts that I directed. It is finally it's won like seven different awards, two best director, a couple best actors. I'm not the actor in it, but I got the
Hmm.
best director award. My actors got best actor, best supporting actor, best sci-fi film, best in its class or something like that. It's won quite a few awards. It's showing this December at the Culver City Theater.
Hmm.
And then also a film that I was the lead actor in is also won accolades at this same freaking award show. And also the French Tibetan monk that I'm working with, he has another film that he just put in there that's been winning awards that he's going to be at that award show. Um, so it's a pretty crazy month already, and January's on the way, and it's going to be fun.
Okay, how much legitimacy these festivals and awards have in your eyes? Because we see a lot of that. And we see some movies live and die in these festival circuits, and some of them just take a whole new life. And I have talked to a lot of directors. Some of them says there's some festivals have their own agenda, and they are somewhat not fair in their processes. What was your experience with all of these are?
Um, so these festivals are a dime a dozen. Like especially in LA, there's a city festival for everything, right? Then you can go up to where Canes. Canes is a different type of festival,
Yeah.
right? Um, so we can't put them in the same category.
Mm.
However, what you can do is you have these short films and then you put them in there and they win these awards. Okay, cool. They won these awards. Now you got to make sure that you're putting your films into legitimate, actual film um, competitions, right? Like you have to look into it and make sure that you're putting them into the right ones and make sure they're not just using you to have you pay their submission fee and then they go, okay, yeah, here's your award. Here's your award. You can look into that on Film Freeway. It shows you how long they've been legitimate, how what they give out, and all this other stuff. And so that'll let you know if they're actually a legitimate one. Now, these are smaller festivals, so no, their accolades are not as good as the Cannes Film Festival, right? However, if you win so many of these and you have so many best directors, best actor, best supporting actor, best this, you get to put that on your resume. You get to put that on your resume, on your films, and in your into your freaking your acting reel. So you put in your acting reel, and it's like you know, Echoes of the Forest, best director, 2006, right? best director, best acting, best da 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 da, you know, multiple film awards on this small thing. And then it shows you a clip of this, and then it goes to the next one. This is this one, this many awards. So then when people see what you have and they're like, oh, they're winning awards, so that means their stuff is good. Maybe they just they haven't had the budget or the ability to market your stuff out there. Now, some people go to these films and go, oh, I want to pay for this film. I want this film to be a real film. Is that a possibility? Yes, that's why they're still a thing. That's why all these festivals are a thing. You want to go to the ones to where you can actually show up and they show your film. Like if they got a big screen and they're showing it off and they're doing it all this, that means they put some money into it. Now, is it the Cannes Film Festival? No. Did it cost them as much money? You didn't put as much money as it's going to cost to get that freaking theater rental. They may have gotten it for free, but other than that, it'd be like $3,000 a night.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe all of y'all together paid them and they made some money off of it. That's fine. Use the accolades, make yourself better films, use the accolades, just tell people I'm an award-winning director, I'm an award-winning actor, I'm an award-winning stunt coordinator. Hi, my name's Nestor Vinelli. It's a pleasure to meet you. Done.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so it was amazing.
He's died.
Okay. So it was amazing to talk to you. I would love to talk to you again. I think you still have like 2 hours of conversation in you.
Oh yeah.
But today is not the day, since you're busy. But I would love to have a conversation again, and it was really good to see you. And thank you very much for coming here.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, cut.
Please, please, I'm begging you. Please, I'm desperate. I don't know what to do. Please subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe for more content.
Subscribe to my channel.